truth. The Democrats, liberal media, everyone in fucking positions of power have unironically gone along with this like lie over and over and over and over and over and over again, that it has basically become the established truth. It doesn't fucking matter. Everyone imagine the barricades law. Okay. They never blocked fucking Jewish students from entering their classrooms. You are out of your fucking mind. Okay.
Khalil, a Palestinian activist, a graduate student at NYU, or rather at Columbia University. He is at risk of being deported after he helped lead protests against the war in Gaza at the university last year. Homeland Security officials have accused Khalil of being a Hamas sympathizer. Let's go right now outside live at Trump Tower with CNN's Omar Jimenez, who is on the scene. Omar, give us the latest.
Yeah, so Boris, about 100 people were arrested as part of this protest that took place inside Trump Tower behind me on multiple levels, 2 different levels of that main sort of lobby entrance to the tower here, as we understand from police. And they were protesting on behalf of Mahmoud Khalil. Jewish Voice for Peace was the group that was leading these particular protests that we saw. And when we first got to the scene, we saw dozens of protesters in zip ties being loaded onto buses where they were taken to central booking, as we understand from New York police. But the chants that we heard from supporters that even gathered on the outside of some of these barriers that police put in place to keep crowds sort of at bay were things like "Fight Nazis, not students," and protesting on behalf, again, of Khalil, who is still being held in ICE custody as those legal proceedings play out as well. We spoke to one of the organizers of Jewish Voice for Peace about why they wanted to come out here. And to them, they said they did not want the First Amendment entrenched on, which is what they believe Khalil was doing over the course of leading some of the protests we saw out of Columbia University. But also they wanted to show solidarity from the Jewish people as well. As those were the words that one of the organizers told me as we spoke to her, as some of her protesters were being loaded onto these buses. There were no violent incidents in regards to the arrests themselves. Once they were taken into police custody, there did not seem to be any resistance. We did not hear of any resistance.
This is awesome, and it's a good thing. I think civil disobedience and getting arrested, especially for groups like Jewish Voice for Peace, is an incredibly important tactic. I think it's the appropriate thing to do. I think it's the right thing to do. And I think that they are incredibly brave for putting their bodies on the line like this and using their privilege. Okay? The reason why I say that is because a lot of this conversation in the Western world revolves around how this is a Muslim versus Jew situation. Okay? This kind of stuff gets reported on by mainstream news, and it educates people who are maybe living in the rest of the country, maybe not around Jews, for example, that this is not actually a Jew versus Muslim situation at all, and that it's not like a scary terrorist that was arrested in this process. It reinforces that reality that this is about people's collective conscience and has nothing to do with like their ethnic background or, you know, centuries old Islam versus Judaism battles or whatever the fuck. It shows solidarity. It reframes the conversation away from the ridiculous propaganda that you see from mainstream media. It plays a very important role that forces people to address the root cause of the issue and the lies that right-wingers tell about this issue, or the lies that Zionists tell about this issue. Doing it at Trump Tower is great because everybody hates Trump. All the liberals hate Trump. This will cause them to also, look at the protests in a positive manner, like liberals who might be somewhat conflicted on this stuff, on the issue of Zionism, because at the end of the day, public discourse and public awareness is still fairly consequential, and you have to fucking bring normies on board. It's not the entire way, okay? It's not the only way. It's not the only method. And I will not discount other methods. Having said that, this is a fairly significant way to reframe the narrative back to the truth, to take the reins of this narrative and reshape it so that people understand what is actually going on, what the dynamic truly looks like. There is always a multitude to complex problems, especially structural and especially systematic issues that exist and persist. There is always going to be multiple different avenues of attack, pressure, all the way from militancy down to peaceful civil disobedience, all the way down to like broad awareness spreading campaigns. And that's why this is a good thing. Okay, this is a great thing. It's a wonderful thing, and I think that it's the right thing to do. It is the appropriate thing to do. It's the moral thing to do.
From police as well, but definitely a protest that grew to over 100, as we understand, from both organizers and police. Took place inside Trump Tower, organized in just a matter of hours, and happened very quickly. As we understand from a law enforcement source, the protesters initially walked into the building with jackets on, and then when they undid their jackets, it revealed the red shirts that represented the Jewish Voice for Peace. But again, a protest that resulted in about 100 arrests. No serious charges expected outside of things like trespassing of that nature. But again, a moment where organizers tell us they wanted their voices to be heard in support of Mahmoud Khalil.
Omar Jimenez live for us in Manhattan. Thank you so much, Omar. Brianna?
Joining us now, CNN senior national security analyst Juliette Kayyem. So Juliette, over 120 people entering Trump Tower, a law enforcement official telling CNN at the height of this. Tell us a little bit about that security setup there now that it's not Trump's official residence.
Yeah, so I'm surprised by this. I would have assumed that just given the public nature of Trump's commercial activities, it would be very difficult to have 100 people come. It was clearly a secretively planned protest, and they were arrested.
I knew it was going to happen. May or may not know some people that were there and may or may not have gotten arrested. Wasn't that big of a secret. But, you know, she's right. It was planned ahead of time, deliberately.
Arrested, as they should be. They trespassed, but they were also nonviolent. And this country has a long tradition of nonviolent protests. We'll see what happens in the courtroom or what's decided about them. I have no doubt that there will be increased surveillance and security around Trump's commercial entities. And this is the interesting thing about Trump, without getting into whether he should or shouldn't do it. And we saw this with Elon Musk with the Teslas. Because they've broken down the distinction between their public roles and their private commercialization, monetization roles, you are seeing these protests touch them in their commercial space. We saw this with Elon Musk and attacks on Tesla, as well as now this protest. Donald Trump cannot close down Trump Tower. It's a commercial space. It's a residential space. And so they are sort of dealing with, I think, in some ways, the consequences of that merger of monetization and policy and the First Amendment.
So these arrests, charging people with obstructing government administration.
By the way, these people are very openly, unapologetically, and deliberately showcasing that they are Jewish. Very little distinctions are being made, very little commentary is being made about that fact. And I have to assume that a certain point is got to be deliberate. They barely mentioned it in the beginning, where they were like, oh yeah, Jewish Voice for Peace is the group. And then that's it. Like, them being Jewish is a part of this process, is a part of this protest. It is like an important part of the protest. That's why it's called Jewish Voice for Peace. You know what I mean? That's why they put it on their fucking signage. And it's not because of Jewish exceptionalism or whatever. It's because in order to break through the pre-established narratives surrounding Islamophobia, surrounding the way to normalize or obfuscate the truth about Israel, by claiming that it's directly tied and associated with Judaism around the world, and certainly in America, is by doing shit like this. Okay?
For failing to move when the dispersal order came because the location is private property, and in certain cases resisting arrest. Tell us about those charges.
So those charges will, I mean, it's going to depend on each individual and what they did at the moment. So there's recordings, there's going to be police reports. Do they have past criminal activity? For some of these people, it may be a fine, community service, a guilty plea, and nothing much happens. I have no doubt Donald Trump will ratchet it up, at least publicly, in terms of his criticism of this kind of activity. The interesting thing about this is this was organized by a Jewish group. So the narrative of, sort of pro-Hamas, pro-Palestinian equals pro-Hamas Arabs that is often used, and it was used in Mahmoud's case, Khalil's.
Why did you say the quiet part out loud, bro? What the fuck? She's like, yeah, normally we would be like, if they're Arabs, they love Al-Qaeda, but they're Jews, so we can't say that. That's insane. Normally we'd be like, hey, they love Hamas. Look at these fucking dirty Arabs. They love Hamas. But when they're Jews, we can't say that. It makes it harder to say that. Oh my Lord. Ay, ay, ay. What a fucking insane moment of honesty right there.
Case is harder to make against Jewish organizations. I have no doubt that that's why they did it, because there's great diversity within the Jewish American population about what's going on, divisions amongst them, and I think that's a very important part of this narrative of who it was organized by and why.
All right, Juliette Kayyem, thank you so much for taking us through that. And actually, what do you expect moving forward? As we heard, obviously the security folks who were there had called for additional units. Do you think that's probably something they're going to have in place temporarily for a while?
Yes, I think so. I think as this case in particular touches on, New York specifically, because it's Columbia, and a very animated community in New York amongst this sort of, I would say, the Israeli and constituencies. They're either.
She said Palestinian, but it got censored out, but not on purpose.
There's diversity within those constituencies, as I was saying, is going to get played out in New York, and that's where a number of Trump's properties are. And this is a difficult issue for the NYPD because of the commercial demands of Trump Towers. He needs them to be open. You can't close them. I mean, those are, as you know, those are retail spaces on the top, on a variety of floors. There are people come in and out, and that's the commercial part of it. And we've never dealt with this before because we've never had a president who had commercial activities consistent with or parallel with his political position, president of the United States, or in Elon Musk's case, the selling of Teslas. That merger is a challenge for public safety because commercialization is open. You can't close it down, but we do need to protect people within the towers and protect the rights of those who want to go into these places or buy a Tesla or whatever else. And I think we're not quite built for that. I think there'll be more aggressive security by the NYPD around Trump properties. But just to take a step back, there's a long tradition of protests. There's a long tradition of arrest and trespass around that. It sounds like that's what happened. We're not hearing about violence. We're not hearing about terrorism. This is not, burning cars or looting or anything. This is a First Amendment activity that was a trespass. There should be a punishment that will be determined on a case-by-case basis. But I don't think that, this is not one of those things where it's like domestic terrorism or anything like that, though I highly believe that Donald Trump wants to increase the focus around this arrest for reasons that have almost nothing to do with anti-Semitism or even immigration at this stage.
We are here.
If they mention that these people are Jewish at all on Fox News, they will do my favorite thing that I love seeing, which is, I call it Gentile confidence, where a bunch of the most Christian looking motherfuckers will sit there and be like, yeah, these Jews are bad. They're not real Jews, actually. We should put them in concentration camps, actually. And it's like the most golden retriever looking ass blonde lady you've ever seen in your life saying that. And you're like, how does this not ring any alarm bells? You're not Jewish. Just like a shocking display of overt anti-Semitism. If they mention that the group's called Jewish Voice for Peace at all.
Protesting against the defamation and deprivation of Mahmoud by Donald Trump. I don't really understand what Donald Trump's intentions are, and I won't speak for them, but I will say that the impact is causing a lot of harm to people who are asking for peace.
So there's that. Katie Pavlich joins us with her reaction. But first, let's get an update from the New York City Police, from the chief of the department, John Schell. Chief, good to have you here today. What can you tell us about what the law enforcement in New York confronted today? Did these people go peacefully? What was it like in there?
So, Martha, how you doing? I'll put this on a timeline for you. Roughly about 11:30, we had 150 protesters in small groups of 7 in different times coming both entrances of Trump Towers in civilian clothes. Once they were inside, they took off their clothes and they had matching red shirts with different sayings supporting.
That's right. It was very fucking
Palestine.
scary.
We know this group very well, and this is their MO. Within 10 minutes of that, notifications went out and we responded. And once I got here as the incident commander, the goal was real simple for us: secure the perimeter of Trump Towers, get with Secret Service and Trump Security, make sure everyone in the building is secure. And once we had that, this is a public access area. So we had to get permission from Trump Security, which we did, to make these arrests. We gave warnings, and ultimately, of the roughly 150 that we hear, 98 chose to stay in the cafeteria area. We made those arrests. Those arrests would be for violation, trespass, but also obstructing government administration and resisting arrest, which are Class A misdemeanors due to the fact that we had to carry them out. I will say from start to finish, this was a 2-hour operation making 98 arrests, and there were no incidents in terms of anyone getting hurt, property damage. The NYPD, like you mentioned October 7th earlier, we've handled over 5,000 of these protests in all different shapes and sizes, and our professionalism training showed through today. And like I said, 2 hours, we got this cleared up.
Do you have any idea who this group is, or who pays for these T-shirts? Who organized it all? Any idea?
Yeah, we're well versed in this group. I don't want to give them any advertisement. We've dealt with them before. We know what their MO is, if you will. And again, I just can't stress enough.
Just say their name, bro. Why won't you say it? Just say the name of the group. What is it? You're very familiar with them, huh? I doubt that you wouldn't be openly talking about it if it was like fucking, I don't know, Arab Muslims for peace or some shit. You'd be like, yeah, I'll say it. It's fucking Hamas. It's fucking Hamas. That's right. These guys love Hamas. Yeah. Roach Man suggesting that they were paid. Yeah, Jews controlled this protest. Is that what he said? Yeah. Seems like Jews are paying for this protest.
That in 2 hours we got this cleared up. 98 people. We had to carry people up escalators and walk them out. It's not the easiest thing to do in the world, but our training and
oh my God. I feel so bad for you, sir. Jesus Christ.
professionalism to our cops. We do this very well in New York City.
Indeed you do. Thank you so much, Chief Shell. Always good to see you. Thank you for what you do to keep the people of New York City safe. And as you say, 5,000 protests of this kind in the past year or so since October 7th is extraordinary. Thank you so much, Chief. Good to see you.
Have a great day, Martha.
You too. Thank you, sir.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News.
Begin with.
Interesting. Not one mention of the name of the organization. Oh, I saw this. I saw this insane shit.
So, but why did you vote for Trump?
She asked who funded them. Yeah.
With that protest in
Let's continue with this and then I'll watch that video because this is one of the most insane videos I've ever seen.
Midtown. Police say about 150 people staged a sit-in inside Trump Tower this afternoon.
98 people have been arrested for various charges, and the protests come on the heels of the arrest of Mahmoud Khalil. He's the pro-Palestinian Columbia graduate detained by Immigration and Customs Enforcement. This happened over the weekend. Lisa Rosner is live outside of Trump Tower right now with more. Lisa.
Well, Alan and Christine, things are.
You housed the criminal? Yeah, I know. Damn, 2 minutes ago. That's crazy. Also, Columbia University says it expelled or suspended some students who took over a campus building during protest last spring and had temporarily revoked the diplomas of some students who have since graduated. Yeah. In the United States of America, if you offend the apartheid state that we have unconditional loyalty and support to, you can't graduate from a college you paid fucking $300,000 to. We won't let you. It's just funny because, like, they'll claim they're doing this because they're scared that the Trump administration is going to revoke, like, grants. But it doesn't matter. Like, they're going to keep clamping. The real reason is because of their donors, to be fair. Their top priority is the alumni. And it's clear that, like, there's at least enough alumni with influence that are insanely pro-Israel.
Refuse to believe they're all students. They're coming from, wherever they're coming from with pre-printed T-shirts. There's some money behind this, Lisa, and there's no doubt about that because we've lived through this before. So this is what open borders potentially can bring you. I can't believe everybody.
Bro. Come on, say it. Say who funds the protest. Say the Jews funded the protest. Come on. Come on, say it. Oh, shit, look at Noah. He's right there. Look at that. They should have never let this criminal back out on the streets. Yet another terrorist that I've had on the broadcast. When will this Hasan guy stop? Constantly having terrorists on his stream.
He's here on a student visa and or a green card in the crowd, or that they're all American citizens. I think we have to find that out. And where it is applicable, as Ari has said, get them out. I refuse to believe they're all students. They're coming from...
That's so funny. Look at that. I'm gonna screenshot this. Hold on. I'm gonna post this. That's funny. That's a good photo. We'll give photo credit to William Turton. Oh shit, I can't tag him in it. Oh, he follows me. I can't believe Noah tricked you by hiding his radical beliefs. Dude, not every Jewish guy you see on TV is your friend. Come on, that's racist. That's what you think. Yeah, they are. They're having a hard time. You can tell. You can tell that the Republicans are having a hard time covering this shit. You know, because like the shirts very clearly say "Jewish Voice for Peace," not in our name. You know, and the people that are being arrested are Jewish. Like, it's difficult. It plays a role in this, in the narrative that you want to craft as like, this is a entirely Arab Muslim thing. Okay. And this isn't to say that like, I mean, Islamophobia is very real. Okay. Trust me. I know personally. Okay. But because Islamophobia is so fucking real, like a lot of the media narratives around this stuff revolve around this being like a purely Muslim issue or whatever, and they set it up that way so they can easily undermine it. Now, there's two different ways to go about it. One, to combat the Islamophobia directly, but also simultaneously explain to people that it's not like a Muslim Jew issue at all. It's an issue for those with a conscience versus those who are inhumane barbarians.
Are calm now, but it was a chaotic couple of hours inside Trump Tower. The NYPD says among the charges in these arrests is trespassing and obstructing governmental administration. The NYPD says around 150 people entered Trump Tower in plain clothes. But once inside, they revealed protest shirts and signs and staged a sit-in.
Within 10 minutes, we started responding here from the police department. Within 40 minutes, 50 minutes, we started making arrests.
Police carried out demonstrators like Josh Dubnow.
We have a right to express our opinions, but I refuse to allow my fear to stop me from expressing my First Amendment rights.
The demonstration organized by the group Jewish Voice for Peace, which is an anti-Zionist Jewish group.
We're seeing the Trump regime weaponize anti-Semitism to attack freedom of speech.
The Anti-Defamation League says it does not represent the mainstream Jewish community. Attorney Gerard Felitti is an activist with the group End Jew Hatred.
The issue is not students saying that they support Palestine, but it's rather students taking action, blocking Jewish students from accessing parts.
Oh, God. Yeah, they're not blocking Jewish students from accessing certain parts of the campus. Shut the fuck up. Suck my dick. Why are these people still oh, my God. Oh! I mean, it's like, look at this. I mean, obviously, look. This motherfucker's got a CIA mug behind him. No shit. God damn, dude. God, I hate. Lying is OP. Lying is so OP. Lying is so OP. It's just like, there's no interest in the truth. The Democrats, liberal media, everyone in fucking positions of power have unironically gone along with this like lie over and over and over and over and over and over again. That it has basically become the established truth. It doesn't fucking matter. Everyone imagine the barricades law, okay? They never blocked fucking Jewish students from entering their classrooms. You are out of your fucking mind, okay? The protests were led in many parts by Jewish students. What are you talking about? How do you not understand that this is a very delicate and very deliberate way to frame the issue as like the protests are anti-Semitic when it's not. It's anti-genocide. Stop being a fucking baboon. Stop being a moron. Stop being a sucker. Stop being a rube. The hell is wrong with you? Who actually is there that you know that can confirm they aren't? I was there at UCLA campus. I also interviewed people that fucking led the protests at Columbia University on this fucking broadcast. I know many of these people. Many of them are in this community. What the fuck are you saying? A big part of what I try to do is to basically break through the messaging that mainstream media is trying to desperately manufacture, break through the consent that the media is trying to desperately manufacture, the lies that it fucking says. Careful to say it's a community of terrorists. It is a community of terrorists. Yes, it is. We are. What do you mean? Trump thinks being anti-Israel is terrorism. So yeah, I guess I'm a fucking terrorist then. Get the fuck out of here. It doesn't mean anything. The word is meaningless. You understand? You go to a fucking anti-Israel rally, you're a terrorist. Yeah, you draw a dick on a Tesla, you're a terrorist. Just wait. Just wait until all of these other wonderful, fun things are considered terrorism and acts of terrorism. Meanwhile, yeah, the RNC unironically announced themselves at a rally and said that we are all domestic terrorists. Like they actually do domestic terrorism. Peaceful protest is not terrorism. Standing against genocide is not fucking terrorism. Genocide is terrorism. Standing against genocide is a courageous act, and it is what everyone should be doing. Troy Egger, second in command at the Department of Homeland Security on Mahmoud Khalil. Is there any criticism of the United States government? Is any criticism of the United States government a deportable offense? Like I said, if you go through the process and you're a student and you're here on a visa and you go through it at any point, is any criticism of the government a deportable offense? Question again. Let me put it this way, Michael. Imagine if we came in and filled out the form and said, I want a student visa. They asked him, what are you going to do here? And he says, I'm going to go and protest. We would never have let him into this country. Martin says, is protesting a deportable offense? You're focused on protest. I'm focused on the visa process. He went through a legal process. They are doing the thing that I was trying to describe to Asmongold when he just simply did not understand. As it stands, there is no rule in the rule book that says you can fucking deport someone for exercising their First Amendment rights. Okay? Non-citizen, citizen alike. That's not a thing. Okay? That's not a thing. You can, however, waive the visa of a person if you believe that they are interested in protest, or you can deny them entry into the country. But once you're in the country, it's over. You get the same protections as everybody else. Okay? What these guys are trying to do is play fast and loose with the pre-existing law that is already stupid, by the way, that like, oh, we can waive your visa up until the point of entry into this country if you fucking say that you're going to protest or whatever. That's ridiculous, okay? Not only is that ridiculous, but also that would require a tremendous amount of surveillance, to figure out like, whether or not someone is demonstrating Palestinian sympathies and shit like that. That's insane. Okay? The very fact that we are discussing this as though it is just simply a back and forth, okay, is terrifying. And the very fact that people don't understand it, the very fact that people don't understand how gross of a violation of people's human rights this is, and how this desecrates the Constitution of the United States and the free speech protections it affords everyone unconditionally, is shocking, genuinely shocking. We are officially directly in the throes of fascism. We're not one step removed from fascism. We're not bouldering towards fascism. This is fascism. If they can retroactively apply visa waiver denials to people that have already become legal permanent residents, they can denaturalize people too. This sets an insane precedent. And if they can retroactively decide and denaturalize people, they can deport people. They can deport American citizens. Why can they? And they can do it for virtually any reason they choose to do so. As long as you fucking call someone a terrorist, you're good to go. And considering that the Trump administration has talked about vandalizing Teslas as an act of terror, trust me, it's coming. You are a fucking moron if you don't recognize this. I am not saying, I'm not like I'm not exaggerating. I'm not freaking out for no fucking reason, okay? This is truly unique, new levels of depravity for the American government. They are moving towards denaturalization. If they can revoke someone's green card over, I felt like it because I didn't like what he was saying, then they can do that by denaturalizing people as well. Yes, I'm not fear-mongering. Thank you. I was forgetting the word. I am not fear-mongering when I say this. I am looking at the logical conclusion by making assessments off of what the administration is saying and also their proclivity to follow through on some of these promises that they've made on the campaign trail, whether it be Project 2025 and its implementation, or whether it be directly denaturalizing people. Oh, this is Nazi shit. This is straightforward Nazi shit. Okay? Here's the audio of this back and forth. The transcript has been posted here, but if you're going to listen to this exchange, unwilling to answer, did Deputy Secretary Troy Edgar unwilling to answer a simple question?
Is any criticism of the Israeli government a deportable offense?
Like I said, I think that at this point, when he was entered into the country on a student visa, at any point we can go through and evaluate what his status is, and the Secretary of State
is any criticism of the United States government a deportable offense?
Yeah, this is not hyperbole. I am telling you exactly what is going on, and I'm telling you where this is going to go. Understand the danger in front of us right now, okay? Understand the danger in front of us right now. And our institutions that are supposed to be, at least to a certain degree, interested in upholding, peaceful education for its students and and maintain some semblance of normalcy, are completely fucking caving. They are caving to the right-wing reactionary neo-Nazi fucking administration and its Nazi-ass policies. That's where we're at. We are there. We're there. Donald Trump also earlier today talked about how he wants the Supreme Court to allow him to end birthright citizenship. Again, directly a violation of the Constitution. This is constitutionally protected. Okay? He wants to reverse the 14th Amendment. That's where we're at.
Like I said, if you go through the process and you're a student and you're here on a visa and you go through at any point.
Is any criticism of the government a deportable offense?
Like, it is shocking how much these guys will make it seem as though Israel has the American government by the fucking balls, dude. Truly. Like, this is some real fucking neo-Nazi, anti-Semitic conspiracy shit, the way these dudes operate. Like, you're the deputy secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, and you're like, yeah, if you criticize Israel, like, you'll get deported. That's insane. If you criticize a foreign nation, you'll get fucking deported. Holy shit.
It's like I said, as a student, he comes to the United States on a student visa, applies. Well, let me put it this way, Michelle. Imagine if he came in and filled out the form and said, I want a student visa. They asked him, what are you going to do here? And he's like,
he was
I'm
a
going
student.
to go and protest and
so
join
is protest a
an anti-Semitic
deportable
activity.
offense?
We would never have let him into the country.
Is protesting a deportable offense?
Like I said, you're focused on protesting. I'm focused on it's a visa process. He went through a legal process, came into the country.
Are you saying that he lied on his application? He's a lawful permanent resident married to an American citizen.
Well, I think if he would have declared he's a terrorist, we would have never let him in.
And
dog, what are you saying? He didn't do terrorism. You're just racistly saying he's a fucking terrorist. That is not, oh my God. Oh my fucking God. Dude, we're no longer just like black bagging random like Muslims that were in Pakistan and claiming that they're fucking terrorists and torturing them. We're just black bagging American legal permanent residents, and not even for like any sort of tangible association or loose association, because I'm not saying that during the war on terror, the American government didn't literally fucking arrest innocent Muslims, innocent Arabs who were also legal permanent residents for the suspicion of being terrorists or whatever. We're just